The reality of getting a nose job in Turkey. Let's talk about it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm going to be reading my notes, so if I sound a little bit professory, it just means that you should get out your notes. Where's my clock lit? Class is in session. I'm making this video for the normal people out there who are like, I can't just go to Turkey. Well, neither can I. And just have a surgery in Turkey? Neither could I. Matter of fact, when I told my mother I was going to Turkey to get work done in the center of my face, she was freaking out very much. I think because of her freaking out, I mean, I already was taking it so seriously, but it really even like that much further. I was like, I am going to 100% know what this experience is about before I get on a plane and go see a surgeon to just say hi and then operate on me. Okay, we did do FaceTime consultation, but yeah, my surgeon was Dr. Yusuf Orhan Ukal. Okay, sorry for the ASMR. Dang, if you're literally going to Yusuf, then I'm flat out, I'm giving you step by step the whole experience. I wish I had this. Let's go. First step is to find a surgeon. This step is the first and probably the hardest part. You need to do research. YouTube vlogs, recommendations from people you know IRL, trusting someone that's already done it. That's quite nice. Or friends of a friend. Then once you have a solid list of surgeons, it's time to do some digging. Look on Reddit and Facebook groups. You're gonna find some dirt there. Basically, any social media platform you can think of. Message girls that have gone to them. Let me tell you why. I have some tea. When I was researching for what surgeon to go to, I found this one that I really loved. Seriously, cutest noses ever. He would do straight up like the Barbie nose. It was way like less natural than mine. Mine, people have no idea I have a nose job. It was obviously like, it was pretty Barbie, but it was really cute. I actually think it would have suited my face as well. I was about to pay him like a $400 down payment. I don't know. I was so serious about it. Something deep down in my gut told me, how about you dig a little? Just a little. So I went on Reddit. I found out that there were multiple women saying that he gives everyone the same nose. He doesn't listen to what you have to say about it. He just knows exactly the exact same nose every single time. Barbie nose. There were girls, obviously. They were like, I wanted this a little different. I wanted this a little different. Didn't listen. There were girls that didn't want him to post their pictures online, their table pictures on Instagram, and he didn't ask for permission. And then if they asked him not to, he would block them. Yeah, no consent, just straight up posted and blocked. Another reason I would reach out to other girls is because on the way back to the airport from my hotel in Turkey, this was like a hotel that so many other girls stayed at. We all went through Clinic Hub. So there were multiple surgeons performing multiple different surgeries. We get in the cab with this one girl. She starts telling us about her experience. She swears this man came high on cocaine. Let me explain the story, okay? She's getting prepared in the morning to have her lovely surgery. And she checks Instagram and she sees her surgeon with a little cup of alcohol at like some place that looked like a club at 3 a.m. last night. She said there was no way this man was not on some drugs because he walked into the surgery room with red eyes, all amped up. And then she's like, so for the nose, I'm pretty sure she was like British or something. Sorry, I won't do the British accent. She was like, for the nose, I want this. And he goes, I got it. Didn't listen to a word she said. This all being said, though, there is a very clear difference in these stories between the surgeons having morals and the surgeons botching the girls, okay? Anyone can say they're botched. Anybody. But when it comes to a surgeon's morals, that's a whole different conversation. Like my surgeon, Yusuf, he took the time to talk to me. If you watch my vlog, he had a great bedside manner, very concerned about everything that I wanted, all of my concerns. He just made the experience what it was. Yes, there are people that said that he botched them. Okay. Have you found a surgeon that doesn't have botched patients? Because that doesn't exist. The amount of testimonials that are out there for each surgeon is extreme. So just reach out to a bunch of girls, see what they have to say about the surgeon, if they liked the experience. Now that all being said, finding a surgeon is seriously the most important part. And I do not want to scare you. That is not the purpose of this video. I want to explain. There is a gut feeling deep inside when you are finding a surgeon if you are meant to have surgery, okay? When you know, you know. There's just a gut feeling, so you need to trust yourself. I mean, I believe it's God, so I prayed about it a lot. And I felt very strongly that Yosef was the surgeon for me. And you really want to trust your surgeon, because the more you trust your surgeon, the less anxiety you will have about the whole process. How do I contact these surgeons? Once you find their Instagram page, it will have a WhatsApp number you can contact. I would copy and paste a message into a bunch of different surgeons' number that you like, explaining what you want, asking for a cost, when the availability is, why is that so hard to say? Their team will respond to you and give you specific instructions on what kind of pictures to take, as well as a medical form, your name and number, and email address. In my case, I gave them pictures. They showed them to my surgeon. He gave them notes and a price to give back to me. And you don't need to give them any personal information of, like, literally no address, no nothing. It's just the email number. Yeah. At that point, they should send you a package quote, and it's like the price. Mine was $6,500 if you haven't already watched my other Q&A video. $6,500 USD, by the way. Airport pickup, blood tests, surgery, anesthetic fees, hotel for pre-op, post-op, 24/7 nurse care, translation services, medications, and free breakfast. So that was all that was included in my $6,500. Once you decide on a surgeon, you can make a down payment. Mine was $400 and it deducted from your total pay. This is part of the first time everything feels real. You're sending money to a different country. I have to itch my eye. It feels wrong because they ask for a down payment. You then send them your credit card or debit card information. You then feel like you're getting hacked. No, they aren't. If you're on the right surgeon's page and you're on the right WhatsApp, you should be fine. It just feels sketchy because, like, this whole process is weird. Like, it's just so random and you're not used to it and you're going to a different country to get operated on. At this point, you would ask for a consultation because this is so important. This is so important. Like, literally the most important part of the process, if you want to be prepared completely. A FaceTime consultation will be your best friend and tell you so much that you need to know. Before the consultation, I need you to dissect. I need you to dissect the thing that you're wanting to have surgery on. For me, it's the nose. So you need to make sure to talk about the bridge, the tip, the width here, the nostrils, the forehead. Yes, that goes into it. Breathing issues, random concerns. What about this spot right here? You should be on the same page about every little detail. You should be a pro on every piece of the structure. Story time now about this. The day that I had my surgery, so did two other girls. They were so sweet. I really liked them a lot. I became really good friends with one of them. On the way home from the surgery, we were all unwell. Okay, this is day 2. Say the night of the hospital, we're leaving the hospital. And my girl, she was not okay. She thought that they were on the same page about specific parts of the nose. She felt like they weren't on the same page after she got the surgery. She didn't want him to touch the tip. He did. Mind you, I didn't even say this in my other one. My tip started dropping after 2 weeks. It's been dropping ever since. I'll look back at a picture 4 months ago. It's been like probably 8 months now. And I'm like, wow, it still was dropping. Like, it still was so high. So as much as I actually kind of don't want it to drop, it just keeps going. So if you're really worried about your tip being too high, don't. And I don't want mine to drop anymore, but I still have 4 more months, I think, until my end of the recovery. So yeah, she was upset. And I just think that for me, that would have never happened. Not with the way that me and Yosef were communicating. I don't know what her like review of her nose is now. I honestly should text her. She needed to be more on the same page with him. I don't know whose fault that is, but I would still hands down send anyone to my surgeon, and I would recommend my literal closest family and friends to him. So I'm not quite sure what the miscommunication there was, but I'm just saying you need to be 100% on the same page with your surgeon and talk about literally every little piece of the surgery and what's going on. She also had a facelift at the same time, which is so hard. Having 2 recoveries at once is an unbelievable process. When I first went to Turkey, I was like, do not have 2 surgeries at once after seeing all of these women getting multiple surgeries at a time. It's a horrible recovery. For me, I could feel my whole body was weak, working on my nose, healing my nose. Have your own discernment. I don't think I'm 100% against getting 2 surgeries at the same time, because obviously flying out there multiple times is just a lot. That's just like a huge trip. So you'd want to fit it all in one. But really super consider every single thing that you're doing. Back to the story. Tangent. My adorable friend, she was so upset because the facelift surgeon, right as they were rolling in, he was talking about how he was going to lift her eyes. And she looked at him. Please don't touch my eyes. What are you talking about? She's being rolled into the surgery room. And he was like, it's only a little bit. She thought that he was only going to touch like the cheek area, I think. So this is what I mean by FaceTime consultation. Know exactly that you're on the same page. Know exactly what they are doing. A mid-face lift means that they lift your eyes. I actually don't know for sure. I didn't do any research on this. This is just from the story. But I would think from that situation that a mid-face lift lifts your eyes. It lifts here. Just research into it. Know the pain levels, understand everything that you're going to be feeling afterwards and where exactly they are changing. It's a big deal. Be on the same page. That's important. By the way, this girl was an angel. I loved spending so much time with her the whole trip, and it's really nice to have like a buddy when you're in Turkey. I had my husband and she had her boyfriend, so we both had someone taking care of us, and then we just had like each other to emotionally talk to about how we were feeling and just like where we were at in the healing experience. That was really nice. Getting prepared mentally for plastic surgery is like a really big deal. So you need to actually take it very seriously. I'm going to make other videos on that. To be honest, there's like a lot of videos out there about what to bring to Turkey. So I don't know if I'll touch too much on that, but I really liked a neck pillow only because when you're sleeping on your back, I like to have like the comfort of something on the side of my face. And I also was 100% sure that I wasn't rolling to the side. So I would always put a neck pillow like right there. That was probably my favorite thing. My freezer didn't work, so no ice packs really worked. My husband had to constantly be getting ice, so hopefully your guys' freezers are better if you want to bring ice packs. You can't drink out of straws, so your like lips literally won't do that. Anyways, do your research. Okay, now that you're prepped in every way, let's go to freaking Turkey. This was actually such a fun experience for me. A plastic surgery experience, I would say mine was like close to 10. It was pretty close to 10 out of 10. And it's because I went in with a good attitude. I went in mentally prepared. I went in with my husband, who's my best friend. I just decided I was going to have fun and going to enjoy it. I made the decision, so I was going to trust in myself for making that decision and doing the research prior. I think it's fine to think mentally about the surgery and like really overthink if you want to do it or not. But when it actually comes time to doing the surgery, you need to just trust that you made that decision. I'm not going to lie, I did enjoy having my husband there because I mean, I saw girls get through it on their own without someone taking care of them. But I will recommend having someone there to take care of you unless you're like seriously the most independent person and don't need that at all. Kudos to you, girl or man. You want to make sure that you go with someone though, that if you do go with someone, they're not thinking that this is like a fun travel trip. They're thinking, I'm going to help my girl get back better and recover. You're not gonna be going anywhere after your surgery, girly. Like, once you get to Turkey, you go to an assigned area with other people who are also using the same clinic as you. Clinic Hub, shout out. Your driver will come grab you and he will walk you to the black van. At least that's the vehicle that I got into. This part feels a little sketchy, I cannot lie, because you're getting into a big van in another country. with random driver. And you're like, are you going to kill me? Have I been scammed this whole time? If you're an anxious girly, this part's scary. There was a girl that was next to me and my husband, she was alone. She went there. I think she was getting a boob job, possibly. She was terrified. She was like, we're getting into that. And then we get into it. And she's like, just sitting, staring out the window, like literally dead silent. We tried to talk to her a little bit. She was really sweet. Girlie was scared. That is why I also say, like, it's really nice to bring somebody with you. You're not gonna get murdered though. I hope. Don't worry. Wait, show this part to your mom. Mom, she's gonna be okay. She's gonna be okay. My mom would have been like, I don't care what that girl gotta say. Luckily I had my husband, so we are just like, well, if we die we die together. That was my note. I love that. You go straight to the hospital to get your blood drawn. You got this. I hated that part, but then afterward I was like, oh, that wasn't even bad. I'm not gonna lie though, some of these hospitals looking a bit sketch. Like, I'm just being so for real. Like, you'll go into a hospital and you're like, is this a sanitary hospital? But everything seemed like very sanitized once you were inside. Just thinking back on that moment, I was like, oh. The place that I had surgery in was like actually a 10 out of 10 building though. Like, it didn't look sketch at all. Just for this blood drawn part, I don't think they do it in the same hospital. Make sure to eat at the airport. If you are like me, I cannot have my blood drawn without food in my stomach. So I was eager to get food in my stomach before doing this at the airport. I just went to like a Burger King. Then they take you to your hotel. My hotel was a dream walking in. Literally a dream. Then my surgery was planned for the next morning. You, of course, have to stop eating by whatever time they tell you. And at this point, you are still in the motions of everything. So it doesn't feel real yet. Plus, it's like all moving so fast. So you don't even have time to comprehend what's going on, which I like. You're just thrown into the experience right off the bat. After getting off the plane, actually, once you get on the plane. In my case, they gave me a time that my driver was gonna pick me up in the morning, but not the exact time of the surgery. And they don't give you an exact itinerary for the week. I see this in a lot of different Turkey vlogs. They also send their standby nurse to give you a bunch of papers to sign your life away on. Hopefully I'm allowed to say this. I don't really care. Sign these the night before. It's worth it. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't want to read that and I just let my husband read it. So I basically just gave these like papers to my husband because it literally is like signing your life away. And I just let him read them all. Sorry, I might have given him anxiety. Sorry, husband. I could not. Like, I did not want to know. And so I just signed and had him read for me. Yeah, sign these the night before. Get it over with. You don't want to be reading this before. That morning you get in a van with all your people that your surgeon is also performing on today. I was with 2 other girls. There was 3 of us. I had my husband, they had their boyfriends. They then ask you to bring your passport and that paperwork. Yeah, I brought my $6,000 in cash. I paid the $500 before I went and then I paid the $6,000 in cash. But I'm not gonna lie, it's very important to bring cash. I think traveling with that was stressful, but worth it once we were paying. There is a chance your account won't let you deduct a certain amount of money out of your account. Then you can't get a hold of your bank because it's 10 p.m. where you live and everything's closed. Be prepared. So then once you get there, you give them the cash, you give them your papers, they assign you a room. You go into that room and then they give you more papers and then you stare at the wall. Then they tell you like in which order they're doing the surgeries for all the girls that you're with. So I was second, thank goodness, because being third sounds... But I'm not gonna lie, I had like such a spiritual experience waiting for my surgery. Like it was beautiful. I read my scriptures and I just prayed for peace and prayed to know that it was the right thing for me to do. And I just felt like so much peace. And my husband like fasted with me. Nice experience, yeah. And then you get a sexy surgery fit. No, genuinely, they like literally put a needle in my arm and I was like, what is for? And then they just like, zzz. Could be a tracker to this day. I have no idea what it was. Could just be, you know, some surgery prep stuff. Yeah, my husband also was able to be in the room with me, in the waiting room at least. And that's where you're gonna recover to. Before surgery, I had one more consultation with my surgeon and we were for sure on the same page. It's in my nose job vlog if you want to reference. Now for something you really need to be mentally prepared for. Being wheeled into the room. Okay, I was literally like a monk before my surgery, but getting wheeled into the surgery room, bring some feelings that you don't want to feel. Everyone around you is speaking a different language. They are maybe sometimes smiling at you, but you're internally freaking out. They roll you into the surgery room, which is pretty freaky. Not gonna lie, it's freezing in there. The surgeon's not there yet. They told me to get onto the surgery table, and there were all these like jelly things, and I had to lay on to make sure your body stays still. Then they strap up your arm to stay in place. And I was just praying. I was like, please, can I be knocked out now? Please, anesthesia. I was trying to keep positive, happy vibes, you know? I was saying, God, I love you over and over. I actually forgot that. I'm so glad I wrote this down. Finally, I see my eyes close and you're gone. I love that feeling. I love anesthesia. Which BTW is my favorite part. I know that it's scary for people, but I love it. Just knock me out already. You wake up in a room freezing. However, you are on anesthesia. I actually wrote down you are on amnesia. I love that for me. So however you're on anesthesia, that's how you're gonna be coming out. For me, when I am on anesthesia, I am like the happiest person alive. But some girls straight up had like a panic attack, especially since you cannot breathe out of your nose. But yeah, I was not gonna lie, having the time of my life. I was like, cold, cold. And then they got me like this thing to blow like warm air into me. And I was like, I love you. I love you. God loves you. You're beautiful. I remember this lady came up to me and she was like, your eyes are so beautiful. And I was like, thank you. I love you so much. And then I made her give me a hug, and I was making everyone give me a hug. That is me on anesthesia. So whatever you're like is gonna happen. So just mentally prepare for that. But I will say, even if you have this anxious and like dark feeling towards anesthesia, it's gonna be okay, because this is a very temporary moment. If you really, really want whatever you're doing the plastic surgery on, it is worth having this temporary moment. I promise. It's going to be okay, and you're going to be okay. Okay, so then at this point, my teeth were like shattering, which my husband was very freaked out about. I was so cold. It's not gonna ruin your results. Don't worry, because I don't think it really is that big of a deal. But when you just had an operation right here and you're shattering right here, it seems scary for sure. This was common though. All the other girls also were shattering their teeth and everyone is fine. So I'm sure that's just like something that's very normal in the whole process. Once my meds wore off, I started being in a lot of pain. They didn't give me drugs for a couple hours. That was rough. The hospital part is kind of a blur, but I remember just trying to sleep as much as I could. Some girls after the surgery struggled sleeping. We all had different experiences. My frustration was having to wait so long for drugs every time. My mom said that happens to her in the US though. Like whenever you're at a hospital, it's just really hard to get like your pain meds to come. Hospitals are just kind of rough, you know? They're just kind of a rough environment. Gotta mentally prepare for that. The second day and the third day are the worst days for rhinoplasty. To sum it up, you want to sleep as much as you can, drink water, eat with your antibiotics. I ate room service like the whole time. I need like carbs when I take antibiotics, so I was eating pasta. I was breaking out because I was eating so much pasta. Or because of other things. I don't know. It's kind of a wild experience, so who knows why I was breaking out. But yeah. And you have to get a lot of steps in. Walking is key to healing, and you don't want blood clots. Ice it, but don't fall asleep with the ice on your face. I got like a burn on my eye bag from ice. It only stayed for like, actually it was quite a while. I think it was like 3 weeks, but obviously I don't have like a scar or anything. Traveling around Turkey was my intention, but the Lord had other plans for me. I was so exhausted, like I could not get out of my bed. Every time I thought I was gonna do something, I slept for 8 hours. And then for some reason, I loved being awake at 4 in the morning. Maybe it's because I'm used to USA time. Yeah, that's exactly why. I love being awake in the middle of the night though. I don't know why, it's just so fun. You would wait for breakfast, and that was like probably the best part of the whole experience, was just waiting for breakfast and then eating breakfast. Was like, I loved the breakfast the hotel had, like so much. Oh, and I wrote this as a note. You can't put the expectation on yourself when you're healing to go out, but I do wish that I brought a cute outfit, because I just brought a bunch of PJs to freaking recover in. Which my friend did the opposite. She brought a bunch of cute outfits and then not a freaking set of PJs. I was like, girlie, we're having surgery. Bring some PJs. Something that goes over your nose easily, okay? Like something wide. The hotel I stayed in was partnered with Clinic Hub. So basically everyone in the hotel had plastic surgery and everyone looked unwell together. I'm not even gonna lie, there was a lady. There was one day we walked into the hotel. I think we were just getting like smoothies. We walk into the dining area and there's just this girl over by like the bar, because that's where everyone was getting ice. And she had ice fully over her face, over her head. I think she got a hair transplant, a facelift, possibly a nose job, literally like a boob job. Like she had it, like, maybe she shouldn't do it on her. I don't know. Like it just had ice. So then by day 5, I had the cast removal. You genuinely need to mental prepare because you take it off and those are not your results. Like a nose job is a year-long recovery. So that, I would say, don't judge whatever surgery you got for a month. And then after a month or 2, you can be like, okay, now I can actually look at my body and see what I think. No judging, just give yourself grace and love. Flying home sucks as well, depending on what you had done. Swell up in the air. So yeah, it's rough. Also be prepared to do a couple months of aftercare depending on what you got done. Mine lasted 3 months of aftercare. I honestly wish that I kept like doing my aftercare for like a year, especially for a nose. Like, why not? Yeah. All this being said, I had like the best experiences in Turkey. It was always the little moments in the trip that made it fun. Watching the rain on the pool in the hotel, all the cute cats walking around. Oh my gosh. Genuinely, I love cats. Looking forward to a smoothie or pineapple juice. Recovering in a hotel versus home is so much more fun. I wouldn't change a thing, and I'm so confident, even though you should be confident before. Feel free to message me on Instagram. My DMs are always open. I just want to help you guys out. The whole mental side of a nose job and any plastic surgery is truly so rough. Good luck if you go to Turkey. And just know that everything is going to be okay. You will survive. You're beautiful the way you are, though it is okay if you want to change something. Just be prepared. Love you guys. Have a good day. And message me if you need anything. Bye bye.